Hi there, this is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about does vitamin D and fish oil disappoint? Big article in the New England Journal of Medicine this last November about a large study looking at the use of vitamin D and fish oil to see if they've reversed heart disease. A randomized sample across America with roughly 20% African Americans was done and was followed for roughly 4.5 years. The net effect was found that they disappointed. Now, fish oil reduced heart disease, particularly in diabetic African Americans, but vitamin D was found to be disappointing, with no measurable effect, particularly on cancer. What's my take on this? I have about 5 or 6 criticisms. Let me start with number 1. One is cancer is really a 15-year disease. A 1 centimeter lesion that you can detect, something you can feel, is about 1 billion cells. And 1 billion is 2 to the 30th power. You can multiply 2 by 2 times 2 30 times, you'll come up to about 1 billion. That's 30 doublings. A doubling is 6 months. That's 15 years. In the first 5 or 6 years of a cancer doubling, it looks like a pretty normal cell. It's got a few mutations. It's on the path to being cancer, but it's not really that mutated yet. That's when lifestyle and vitamin D would make a difference, because that cell is still pretty normal. But at that point, though, it's still not even a dot on a piece of paper. At the time you've gotten to the 10-year mark, you now have cancer cells that are beginning to look quite bizarre. You still couldn't see it on an x-ray. You still couldn't measure it. But now it's completely outside of control. It's no longer anywhere normal. It's completely unable to be managed. And that's when they started this study, at the 15-year mark, or the 10-year mark, when they had 4.5 years to go. Of course, vitamin D didn't work at that point. That's criticism number 1. Criticism number 2, they used 2,000 units of vitamin D without measuring blood levels. 2,000 units is what your body would make in 2 minutes if you were a type 3 skin Caucasian in the middle of summer. And a study from Antarctica shows that when you give folks 2,000 units, they only get up to a blood level of about 30. Now, 30 is just the threshold at which cathelicidin and other toll receptor proteins kick in. So these folks did a study in which was inadequate doses of vitamin D to get you at high enough level. 3, it takes a year to get to a new homeostasis. So if you anytime you start with vitamin D, because your volume of distribution in your body is 20 times the size of your body, because vitamin D soaks into fat cells, when they start a new dose, it's a year before they get to a new homeostasis, which means they thought they had a 4.5-year study, and I would maintain they had a 3.5-year study. It goes on and on like this. So this means vitamin D really wasn't very well studied. We'd have to say, if we want a real study, give me a 20-year study that looks at people who get an adequate blood level of 50, and then we can talk. In that context, the reason I say a blood level of 50 is because that's what folks who live on the equator get when they are replete with plenty of vitamin D. And there's tons of epidemiological evidence, not randomized placebo-controlled trials, but epidemiological evidence that vitamin D at that level, that folks who have that level have dramatically less cancer. What will work for me? Heck, I take vitamin D every day. I try to keep my blood level of 50. You should too. If you want to know about more reversing cancer, we can talk about how you can look at stem cells, circulating stem cells, way in advance. But that'll be in the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, your job is to guess, where did I do this video? And the answer is Saint-Tropez, France.